It took me over 2 decades to finally lose the weight. And 6 months ago, I finally hit my goal of losing 90 pounds. Today, I'm going to share with you why I am not worried about gaining the weight back. It has absolutely nothing to do with diet and exercise. I know you've consumed plenty of YouTube about eating well, diet, and exercise. But if you have ever lost weight and gained it back, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you the 5 mindset shifts that not only helped me to lose the weight, but to keep it off. After struggling for more than 2 decades, I realized that my real weight loss battle was all mental. Oh honey, I hope you're ready for this episode. If you are, get your pen, get your Post-it, get your ambition planner, and let's go. Hello Ambition babes, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, also known as the face of ambition, across all social media platforms as well as wherever you stream your podcast. Traditionally, I make content for women over 40 who are ready to reinvent themselves. But today is very different. I was aware that I was overweight by the time I was in the 3rd grade. And it is something that has been a struggle for multiple decades. I've gained weight, I've lost weight. I've tried every diet, every exercise, every app, and every shot and pill that is on the market. And what I have found is that my weight loss journey was completely psychological. It was a mental battle that I was fighting. And once I made these 5 very simple mindset shifts, it changed absolutely everything. So I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to definitely want to share this video with your sister, your mother, your cousin, or your best friend. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to explain to you why accountability is so important to your success. So let's jump into these tips. I also want to let you know that every time I talk about weight loss, it is so deeply personal to me that it kind of shifts my mood a little bit. So if you have ever watched any of my other content, you may notice that my personality is a little off. This is honestly just a representation of how heavy my weight loss journey has been. It has not been easy. Every single day was a struggle, but I know how important these 5 mindset shifts are that I'm about to share with you today. That is why shift number 1 is that you have got to stop sabotaging your success. One of my biggest problems is that every time I would see myself being successful on the scale, I would do something to sabotage it. Because one of 2 things would happen. Either I saw myself maintaining my weight on a week that I was not eating the best, and even though I knew I wasn't eating my very best, I still felt like I should still lose weight. Therefore, I would do something to sabotage that success of just maintaining weight. Or if I saw myself losing weight, I would need to celebrate by getting an ice cream at Chick-fil-A. I was consistently sabotaging myself in some way that was always holding me back from ultimately reaching any of my goals. I'd have a great week and binge over the weekend. And the very next day, I would order a 300 or 400 calorie latte. I had to realize that deep down inside, I did not believe that I deserved it. That same little girl that got picked on in the 3rd grade because her shorts rode up her thighs was very damaged and bruised. She had been bullied. She had been told that she had a pretty face for a fat girl. And I never truly believed that I could actually do it. I had some weight loss success one time when I lived in France, and I was so proud of myself. But as soon as I came back to America, I was back into my old driving everywhere habits, eating everything habits, and all the regular college student habits that I didn't practice when I lived abroad. So I immediately picked back up the weight that I had lost when I was gone. And I told myself that I could only be successful in losing weight there because my lifestyle was different, and that I couldn't mimic that same lifestyle that I lived in France in the United States. I had so much inner work to do because I was sincerely afraid of success. I knew the statistics on how many people lose weight and just gain it right back. I had done it myself, so I knew that I was a part of that stat. Weight loss success for me meant vulnerability, responsibility, and living up to expectations. Because you know how it is. The moment that somebody loses weight, somebody sits down and says, girl, tell me absolutely everything that you did. Do not leave out a single detail. And now you feel responsible for disclosing everything that you did. But then I also felt as if other individuals were expecting me to be able to maintain it and help them to also lose weight. I was far more comfortable with being the victim as opposed to the victor, blaming my lifestyle and my diet on absolutely everything else. But you cannot outrun a bad mindset. You are self-sabotaging to protect yourself from disappointment, responsibility, and judgment. So I want you to stop right now and write down the ways that you have sabotaged your weight loss success. You know exactly what it is. You know that every time someone celebrates your success, you downplay it. You're so quick to be like, oh girl, I may have lost 5 pounds, but I got 50 more to go. You might be catching yourself repeating the same old habit. But I want you to stop and ask yourself what you are so afraid of. I want you to be honest with yourself about how you're sabotaging yourself and identify a plan to let it go. One of the things that I had to let go of was weighing myself every day. I would step on that scale every day, and that would determine my mood. Was I going to be happy today? Was I going to be successful? Was I going to be productive? Was I going to find joy in the little things? Or was I going to be a Debbie Downer? Was I going to binge eat? Was I going to not care for my body? Was I going to fall into the same old patterns that I always had that did not serve me before? And all of that was determined by the number that showed up on the scale. If I gained as much as an ounce, I would literally throw my hands up and be like, why am I even trying? The scale was my saboteur. She was my mood indicator. She had so much control over everything that I did, ate, and how I felt about myself. Maybe you're the same. If you need to put that scale out in the garage or up where you can't reach it, do whatever it takes to get rid of the thing that is sabotaging you. Mindset shift number 2 is that you do not have to fight this battle alone. For over 20 years, I tried to do this journey by myself, completely alone in complete isolation. Because I put on the weight by myself, surely I couldn't or shouldn't depend on anyone else to help me to lose it. I thought that my willpower should be enough and that I should be able to do it by myself. But every time I would fail, I would feel more shame and disappointment. And let me be absolutely clear. I have hired multiple personal trainers that met me at the gym, trainers that came to my house. But somehow their form of accountability still was not enough. And I still felt like it was them versus me. But the game changer was finding an accountability partner that was not my sister, my best friend, or my husband. I needed an accountability partner that was almost a stranger, that I felt like I had someone to show up for, that was rooting for me, praying for me, and I was in a little bit of competition with. There was one weight loss program that I did that had accountability partners built in. And every single week before a certain time of that day, we had to send a picture of ourselves standing on the scale. Sometimes we had to put a postcard on it with a secret word or a secret picture on it, just to be able to prove that that was the weight loss that you were entering for that day. And every single week, the leader of this accountability group would post who the biggest loser was for that week. Now, I'm sure you all have all watched the Biggest Loser documentary by now, and we've all gotten our own opinions. But this idea of who has lost the most weight over the course of the week really worked for me. I wanted to be able to show up. I wanted to make myself proud. At the end of this weight loss program, nobody won anything but a pat on the back, and hopefully you had lost 10 to 20 pounds. But what I found is that this method worked. Most of us are competitive by nature. We'll show up for others, but won't show up for ourselves. And what I also found is I could not allow my sister, my best friend, or my husband to be my accountability partner. Because they loved me in a different way, they offered me way too much grace. My sister is my absolute best friend. And if I were to send her a picture of that scale and I had not lost any weight from the week before, the very first thing she would say is, girl, you have been so stressed all week. You have been working so hard. And remember the other day? Yeah, girl, that was so tough on you. I don't blame you. I mean, I know that you didn't go work out this week. And when were you going to work out? When did you have time? When were you supposed to show up? You did the very best you could with what you had. And all of those things are true. But because she loves me in a very unique way, she's going to give me an out. Having an accountability partner that is a stranger, doesn't know anything about your work week, what you've been going through personally, and even though she is rooting for you, the only thing that you all have in common is working on these goals. It's amazing how even though my accountability partner started out as a stranger, she became somebody that I loved, respected, and I valued her opinion. We were both in it together. And this method worked. That is why I took that same methodology that I learned in my weight loss program and I applied it to creating Clickish. None of us like accountability. Not a single person that I know like somebody looking over their shoulder saying, I thought you said you were going to do this. I thought you said you were going to show up for yourself better today. I thought you said you were going to change those bad habits. And even though we all hate it, we all need it. Willpower is not enough. And the amazing thing is that you do not have to do it alone. Accountability systems work. And if you are trying to lose weight, you have personal goals, financial goals, or business growth goals, there is something so magical about having another woman check in on you every single week to ask you if you did the thing you said you wanted to do. You all are offering each other transparency. You are allowing yourself to be vulnerable, open, and honest. And sometimes for the very first time. I don't know a single person that doesn't have a goal that they want to work towards. And if perhaps you have never tried a real accountability system in order to reach your goals. If not, I would love for you to join our membership community. You don't have to work on your goals alone. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You just need community. You need a mentor and a group of sisters who are rooting for you, praying for you, and are going to seriously hold you accountable to doing exactly what you said you were going to do. You need someone to believe in your dreams even when you don't. In Cliquish, we celebrate wins, normalize struggles, and we never let each other quit. If you have been looking for a community or you're just now realizing that accountability is what you have been lacking, we are now accepting new members into Cliquish, honey. Make sure that you click the link in my description or in the comment section and actively work towards the woman that God intended you to be. You don't have to do this alone. No one was meant to do anything in isolation. And I would be honored to be your mentor to help you to reach your most ambitious goals. Mindset shift number 3 is that I made my weight loss goal a matter of prayer. For some reason, I decided to not invite God into the process. While I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about it. I think I felt as if he was disappointed in me. I know how important it is to take care of my temple, and I hadn't done that. I drank too much, I ate too much, I overindulged, and I made excuses every single day not to work out. And somehow I felt as if because I knew better that God was going to be really disappointed in me. Because I lied to myself every day, it was as if I was lying to God as well. But when I decided to make my weight loss journey a matter of prayer, I literally felt chains break and fall. I don't know why we act like God is above all the things that were going on in our lives. Like he understands some problems and some struggles, but he doesn't understand this. I was literally trying to transform my body without transforming my spirit. I treated weight loss like a physical challenge, but not a spiritual journey. And what I can promise you is that they go hand in hand. I said earlier that it does not take willpower alone, but it does take prayer alone. Every single time I felt tempted, I knew it was time for me to pray. I realized I was not wrestling against flesh and blood. This was something bigger. My temptations were something larger. The way that I would sabotage myself felt demonic. Like, what is mentally wrong with you? I had to start asking God for strength to say no to food. And let me be absolutely clear. I wasn't asking God to give me strength to just say no to food. I was asking God to give me the strength to push back from my plate. My weight loss struggle was that I was an overeater. If it was good, I was cleaning my plate. If you gave me 3 tacos, by George, I had to eat all 3 tacos. I had to have the extra sauce. I had to have the extra crema. I had to have what's that sauce you dip it in? Oh yeah, honey, I had to do that twice. I had to eat all the chips. I had to get a refill. I ate all the salsa. Sometimes if I felt fancy, we was ordering queso and guacamole. And because I paid for all of it, I had to eat all of it. But I had to pray and ask God to help me to stop eating when I was satisfied. That me being full meant that I got my money's worth. Spiritual alignment can truly give you strength beyond your own willpower. When I would say grace, I would say, God, please give me the strength to stop when I'm satisfied. When I am full, help me to be okay with not continuing to eat. And the number one way that I have been able to maintain my weight loss is that I have never stopped making my weight loss journey a matter of prayer. Yes, I've reached a weight loss milestone, and I pray the same prayer that I prayed at 230 pounds as I do at 140 pounds. Lord, I need your strength. I cannot do this alone. I have tried. I have failed. I have sabotaged. I have blamed absolutely everybody, from the food industry to the pesticides to the salty snacks to some chemical to some conspiracy. I even talked to my doctor, had them drawing blood and pulling up test results when my journey had no one else to blame with the fact that I was not allowing God into something that had a stronghold on me. The moment that I let go and let God in on my journey, absolutely everything changed. Mindset shift number 4 is that you are going to have to embrace consistency over perfection. I used to be an all in or nothing type person. Either I was working out 7 days a week, or why even try to show up? If I told myself I was working out 7 days this week and I missed day 4 of 7, I wouldn't go back to the rest of the week. I had failed. I needed to have the perfect diet, and if I didn't, then I might as well pull up on Chipotle. One bad meal would turn into one bad day. That would then turn into one bad week, because I was chasing perfection as opposed to progress. 80% consistency will always outperform 20% of perfection. And the moment that I gave myself permission to be human, I watched the weight seem to melt away. Because showing up at the gym 4 times a week as opposed to 7 was still absolutely amazing. Because having a cheat meal did not mean that my whole day was ruined. When I finally got it through my greasy head that I was never going to be perfect, I allowed myself to make daily progress that helped me to be able to ultimately reach my goals. Bad meals don't derail me anymore, but they are a data point. I no longer identify as someone that eats bad meals. So when I have made a decision to eat a bad meal, I have to start considering what's going on with my mindset. Am I slipping back into that perfectionism, or am I sabotaging my success? Because what I can promise you, honey, is that this is a daily journey. Just because you reach your goals does not mean that you're not constantly checking your mindset. Why are you making this decision? Why are you choosing not to go to the gym this morning? Why are you choosing to step on the scale with all of your clothes on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Why are you choosing to talk negatively about that picture you just took of yourself, rubbing on your arm fat, wishing it wasn't there? Why are you doing that? These mindset shifts are things you're going to have to practice every single day. This journey does not have a destination, sis. And the realization is that the moment that you decide to stop the journey and step off the path, you could easily fall back into the same old negative mindset and habit. Speaking of habits, mindset shift number 5 is that I changed my identity and not just my habits. When I say I changed my identity, I stopped saying that I'm trying to lose weight. And I started to self-identify as a person who was taking care of their body. It wasn't about trying to lose weight and it wasn't about being a gym rat. I identify as a person who lives a healthy lifestyle. I've always been vegan or vegetarian. And let me be clear, that does not mean that I was healthy, because cheese, pasta, bread all fell into my very vegetarian lifestyle. But I started to identify as a person who made healthy dietary choices. We always act in alignment with the person that we see ourselves as. If we see ourselves as an overweight, broken person, we tend to cover up, stay inside, isolate, and use negative verbiage to describe ourselves. Identity-based habits are so much stronger than goal-based habits. I identify as a person that goes to bed at 10 p.m. I identify as a person that goes to the gym every day. I identify as a person that moves their body every day. I identify as a person that drinks a gallon of water daily. When you decide to change who you are, changing what you do becomes natural. It does not matter what the scale says. If you decide to change your identity and say that I now identify as a person that is 10 pounds lighter than what that scale says, you start showing up differently. You start eating and exercising like the person that is 10 pounds lighter, that is going to wear the bikini on her next vacation, that is finally going to fit into that size 22, 16, 12, or 10. The mental hack of changing your identity may sound completely delulu, and maybe it is, but it honestly works. When you start journaling about what you eat every day and how it makes you feel, and how fresh the salad was, and how tangy the dressing tasted. When you start romanticizing going to your local Zara and start flipping through the front of the clothes and start picking up that dream size, you start identifying as the woman that you are becoming. Now you have got to align the habits with your new identity. The woman you are becoming enjoys ordering a salad at dinner. The woman that you are becoming only has one cocktail as opposed to 3. The woman that you are becoming enjoys wearing the weighted vest, taking herself on a hot girl walk, finally invest in that walking pad, doesn't mind sweating out her edges, and is okay with carrying around this heavy Stanley cup so that she's getting in her ounces. Now I know what you're thinking. What if I do all these mindset shifts and I slip back into my old habits? I want you to be okay with making mistakes. Slip-ups are going to happen. You're going to have a bad meal. You're going to go on vacation and have one too many cocktails. It's going to be raining or cold, or you're just plain sleepy and you're going to skip the gym. And that's okay. But as long as you remember that that is not how you identify. You do not identify as a person that allows their mood to dictate what they eat. You're not a person that identifies as going to bed too late so that you can't wake up early enough to get to the gym. And you're also going to set a protocol in place so that you have an accountability partner that is there to help pray for you whenever you're finding it hard to pray for yourself. Hold you accountable whenever you just want to fall back into your bad habits. You and your accountability are going to acknowledge the setback, make adjustments, and get back on track immediately. Deciding that you're going to wait until Monday to start over again is a bad mistake. We've all done it, but this is a lifestyle and not a weight loss challenge. Get back on track immediately. There is absolutely no better time to start than right now. Sis, you are not meant to fight alone. If you've been looking for an accountability partner, please make sure that you consider joining Clickish. I would be honored to be your mentor to help you to reach whatever goal is important to you. The girls in Clickish are working towards various goals, from weight loss to financial freedom to building a side hustle or a 6-figure business. Imagine being in a community of like-minded women praying for you and supporting you while you're on your journey. That magical community exists. Like I said, I would be honored to be your coach, and I have left all of the information on how to become a member in the description below. Sis, I love you, and I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.